Okay, so now what we've got now is where we've drilled and tapped, or just drilled and put nuts to the other side. We've now got some set pins in. You can use whatever they are. They don't have to be X pins like what I've put in. They can be cheese head screws. They can be whatever. Just some screws will do it, just to hold that in. So basically now what we've got is the unit, the hard part done. We've got the shield on. We've got the tube wrapped inside. I've put a brass connector on there purely because the heat can radiate up. So what I shall do now is I'll put a small piece of tube in there, which will then connect via some poly tube to the oil tank, which will be roughly here. Okay, so basically that's what we've got now. The next part that I'm going to do will be attaching the nozzle end onto the end where the smoke comes out, just on there, and also putting the oil can on. So as you can see, it's taken me roughly 40 minutes or so to get it to this stage. Okay, so the next stage, we've got the flame, the wind protector screwed on. We've got the tube. What you can see there with the coupler, the 6mm coupler, I've coupled two pieces of pipe together. Now I'll leave this end open because this is going to be attached with some like poly tube, which you can go straight to the oil can. The reason I've put that there is once this area gets hot, obviously the heat transfer can be quite high, and that brass sort of stops the heat transfer. So just put a small piece, I don't know, that's about 6 inches long, something like that, which will obviously prevent the poly tube from melting. So now what I've done is I've screwed another 6mm coupler on to the end with a standard gas welding tip nozzle. They're available at any good gas welding, arc welding, TIG welding suppliers, and I would imagine you pay about £1 for it. I mean, I've got this free, but I would imagine you pay about £1, and all it is just a brass nozzle. And what I'm going to use now is the actual tip itself. This is a size 4's tip. It does say, you probably can't see it, but it does say size 4 on it. And like I say, I can just screw this in now, screw it into the end. It's only got to be hand tight. It hasn't got to be. You don't need to use a spanner on it. Okay. So now you can see the end. Obviously, the smaller number, 1 will be a very small hole, 2 slightly bigger, 3 slightly bigger, and so on. This is a size 4. Now, if when you start pumping your oil, it doesn't feel like there's any pressure there, then just decrease the size of the nozzle end. I've got a 4 in there, and it's worked pretty well for me for the last one I made. So we're 80% done now. So we've got the end done, we've got the nozzle on where the oil's going to come out of while there's smoke. We've got the coil in, which is coiled up to about there, and then the end of the flame nozzle is about there. So that'll direct nicely onto that, eat that coil up and make the smoke. And then we've got the tube that comes back, connected to a 6mm coupler, 6-inch piece of pipe. And now next what we've got to do is slightly move this hand grip down. This hand grip starts about here when you buy it, and all you do is you just twist it and it will pull down. We're going to bring the hand grip to roughly about there. So the next part, you'll see that the oil can has been fixed on, and I'll show you how to bend the handle so you can fix it on nicely, and hopefully we'll have it connected up, and then we're pretty much done. Okay, so as it stands at the minute, we're about 80% done, as you can see. Very similar to the one sold at Arthur Carter and Shootwright, but for not even a third of the cost. I know there's people saying that they don't work very well anyway, but personally I think it's down to the oil that's used. I've put vegetable oil in with good smoke. I've put motor oil in with excellent smoke, and I think, to be fair, it's the toxicity of the oil more than anything. Obviously motor oil is going to give you a similar kind of smoke to exhaust fumes, which is probably what we're looking to get. So like I say, at the minute we're pretty much done, and then the next part will be with the oil can attached, and then we'll have one more final part where we actually use the unit itself. Okay, so this is now my version of the Rat Attack complete built. So I'll go from left to right with the business end, obviously the nozzle going through to the tube, through the windshield, and then what I've done here is on this tube I've just put a Jubilee clip on, just to shore things up really. You don't need one, but I've put one on. It just makes everything a bit more solid. Okay, so we've got the Jubilee clip, coupler, and then this particular oil can that I brought, which was from eBay, which was £1.50, I'd already got the actual nozzle was PVC tube. So all I've done is just warm the end up, as you can see there, and just pushed it over. Yeah, again, you can put a Jubilee clip on if you want to, but you don't need to. There's not enough pressure on there to cause leaks. And if you do put it on and you do get a leak, then just stick a Jubilee clip on. Down to the oil can, standard oil can. And all I've done is cut the handle, which came around here, and then the piece I've cut off I've bent round the grip, drilled 2 holes through it and connected it to the old piece of handle, and that's on there now, nice and solid. So basically, as you can see, Rat Attack smoker Mark II for roughly about 30 quid and about an hour and a half's work. So it's worth it. I mean, you can go to, like I say, some of the bit you can go and have this tapped. These holes tapped. If you've got the material, if you've got the kit for do that, then have them tapped. But if not, just stick some pins through, nuts the other side, and then now all we've got to do is fill this can up with a bit of oil, light it, and see how we go. But that's pretty much it. As far as I'm concerned, it's virtually identical, other than this piece, which I'm sure they've used perforated tube. Again, if you can get perforated tube, that'd be probably better, but this will work. This will work just as good. To be fair, I think this will contain the heat more than what perforated tube would, because there's not so many holes. But like I say, for 30 quid, if it works for you, then great. If it doesn't work, it's better paying 30 quid than £100 and you're not being happy with it. So that's my version of the Rat Attack smoker Mark II. And basically, 2 fingers up to shoot right. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, just send me a PM and I'll try and help you as best as I can. There are some people that have asked me if I'll build them these, but to be honest with you, it's that simple. It's going to cost you a tenner for me to send it in postage, and then it's going to obviously cost an X amount for me time. You're still going to be spending £60. So personally, just get all the bits yourself. It's dead easy for do, and have a bash at it. So the next video will be the operation of it, and just to show you that it works just as well. Okay, as promised, this is my version of the Rat Attack Mark II. Cost me roughly, what, 28 quid. Weed wand, £18 delivered to my door. Standard oil can, £1.50 to my door. I managed to get the stainless steel tube for nothing, but it would probably cost you about 5 quid for something like that, roughly. Bit of Bundy tube, couple of quid. 1 Jubilee clip, couplers. So I would probably say around about £27–28 mark, everything delivered. So fire it up and see what you think. I am using at the minute sunflower oil, just standard sunflower oil from Morrison's. Now the only problem with the sunflower oil is it is flammable when it gets hot, so you might see a few flames, but obviously I'm working on the oil situation and hopefully I'll be able to sort it out. So exactly the same with the expensive version. Turn gas on, light it, exactly the same, no different. Get the flame nice and hot, leave it a couple of minutes. As you can see, I'm getting very small flames at the tip of my nozzle. That again is down to the oil being obviously slightly flammable, which is my next project. Now what you've got to be careful of is obviously pumping while the oil's still as a liquid, because it obviously will burn you. And as you can see, I've got 4 dogs knocking around the garden, so I don't know what to do. Right, once your coil's nice and hot, just turn the flame down, just so it's ticking away. And as you can see, it pumps out oil just as efficiently as the rat's woods. It is the same thing basically. Obviously same principle, don't keep squirting it or the oil will just turn back to liquid and you'll just be spraying hot liquid. So as you can see, quite successful for a third of the price. Anyone that wants any more info on it, just let me know and I'll try and get back to you as best as I can. There is perhaps a few modifications I can do, obviously changing the oil and what have you. I will have a look into it, but as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty shit hot. So let me know if you're interested in what you think of it. Thanks.